And rain from potential tropical cyclone 8 is already moving into our viewing area. I'll show you the timeline of the rain and how much we'll see.
Energy crews are preparing this morning ahead of the severe weather. The concerns about power outages as winds and heavy rain are expected.
Also, the FBI is investigating an apparent second assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. What we have learned about the charges the suspect has faced here in North Carolina.
And hundreds of jobs are coming to Johnston County. We'll tell you about plans to expand a food manufacturer and what that will do for the economy. A lot to tell you about here on this Monday morning as we get you started at 4:30. Good morning, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Good to have you along here. We start with a fresh system rolling in off the coast. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center on how it is moving into our area right now.
Already starting to see some of the rain in our southern counties. A little bit of patchy rain, too, around Johnston County, headed toward Wake County. So it's going to be a messy morning for us. It'll take a little time for all of this rain to spread across the entire viewing area, but we are definitely seeing rain right now in Clinton. It's moved through Fayetteville, headed toward Dunn, but this is kind of the leading edge of some of that heavier rain that we'll see across our area. So it is a WRAL weather alert day. We have a flood watch. We have a level 1 risk for severe storms, and a lot of this will really start to pick up in intensity after lunchtime today, but we're still dealing with it this morning. The flood watch does include the entire viewing area for 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. That continues into early tomorrow morning. And then from the Triangle area eastward, we have a level 1 risk. You know, with tropical systems, we often have that tornado threat. So that's why we have that level 1 risk. We'll walk through Futurecast this morning and kick things off here with some showers during the morning commute. And then once we get closer to lunchtime, we start to see some of those heavier bands moving through. And that's going to be with us all day. The heaviest rain is likely to be a little farther south. The center of circulation with this is likely to track really into South Carolina and toward the mountains, but we'll still be in line for some very heavy rain across our area in the next 24 hours. We're going to bump it up to around 90% later this afternoon. Temperatures will be in the 70s today, and of course, wind's going to be an issue. We'll take a look at the wind speeds coming up.
Emergency management crews are ready this morning as they prepare for impacts from this storm system. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from Raleigh. And Laura, there are concerns the storm system could cause flooding as well as power outages.
Renee, good morning. Emergency management here. They are preparing to deploy resources and crews as they track the storm heading this way. Wake County Emergency Management, they're in contact with several different municipalities, warning them that low-lying areas could be at risk for flooding over the next few days. So this is a look at what we experienced during Tropical Storm Debbie here in the Triangle. Local flooding, standing water on roads and down trees. If coastal winds come more inland, the combination of that and the heavy rain could bring the potential for some scattered power outages. Duke Energy is currently sticking with the crews they already have, but a spokesperson tells us they'll shift resources if needed.
When you combine 3 to 4 inches of rainfall in some areas that we could see, that ground gets very saturated. And then if you have some gusts, that could bring some trees over, uproot them and cause an outage. You know, we trim trees year round so that we can reduce the number of outages that come from trees. But you know, they're part of the natural beauty of this state, but they are the leading cause of outages.
And they do warn, as we know, when trees come down, we do have the possibility for those power lines to come down. Sometimes they remain alive and active, and they could fall into those floodwaters. So if you see standing water, it is important that you avoid that area. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
You can count on WRAL to closely monitor this system, providing live reports from the Triangle to the coast today. We'll keep you updated on the threat of flooding and other potential impacts, offering all the essential information you and your family will need to stay informed and safe.
This morning, the FBI and authorities in Florida are working to learn how a would-be assassin got within just a few hundred yards of former President Donald Trump at his golf club in Florida. The Secret Service says agents saw a would-be shooter lying in wait, and those agents shot at him. The suspect is in custody this morning and is expected to face federal charges. We are also learning more about his ties to North Carolina. New this morning, the former president is thanking the Secret Service and other law enforcement for their efforts to keep him safe.
In a post to his Truth Social account just before midnight, Trump said, quote, "I would like to thank everyone for your concern and well wishes. It was certainly an interesting day." He went on to thank everyone who kept him safe and said he is very proud to be an American. In her own statement released just before 11 o'clock last night, Vice President Kamala Harris said in part, "As we gather the facts, I will be clear, I condemn political violence. We all must do our part to ensure that this incident does not lead to more violence." She also said she's thankful Trump is safe.
The federal government is taking over the case against a suspect, Ryan Routh. Local authorities were able to take him into custody shortly after the apparent assassination attempt. Law enforcement says they found an AK-47 style rifle, a GoPro, and other items left behind by the suspect in the bushes near Trump International Golf Club.
And we're learning more about the extensive criminal history Routh has here in North Carolina. Routh's LinkedIn account shows he attended North Carolina A&T University. North Carolina Department of Adult Corrections has dozens of records for him dating back to 2002. Charges that year include possessing a weapon of mass destruction, which is a felony. Records also show in 2003 he was sentenced for driving without a license, carrying a concealed weapon, and hit and run. In 2010, he was convicted of possessing stolen goods. The local Fox station in Greensboro reports Routh lived in that area before moving to Hawaii sometime this year.
Today, we'll learn more about the newest job opportunities coming to Johnston County. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Selma. Kelsey, officials will meet to talk about economic incentives for an expanding food manufacturer.
Renee, that's exactly what we're expecting today, and this would make the second company to expand here in the Eastfield development in less than 6 months in Johnston County. And that company could bring more than 200 jobs to the county. People familiar with this deal tell WRAL that this would be a $35 million development. The county did not reveal the name of the company, but we could hear an announcement in just a few hours. Local officials are scheduled to discuss economic incentives for the company today. That's a sign that Johnston County is the company's choice. The county's economic development director, Chris Johnson, says this potential deal speaks to the area's growth.
We're traditionally in the top 5 of the fastest growing counties in the state. At one time, we were the 9th fastest growing county in the U.S. statistically, and we're not slowing down.
State economic leaders are also scheduled to meet this morning. It's likely that their meeting is related to this development, but we're still working to confirm that. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Johnston County.
We're working to learn the name of a man who was shot and killed in Durham last night. It happened around 6 p.m. in a neighborhood near Glenbrook Drive and Dubonnet Place. Police are still working to learn more about what led up to that shooting. This was the same area where 3 men were shot Saturday night, and one of those people has life-threatening injuries. The others are expected to recover. No word on any suspects or arrests.
Today, the man accused of killing Moore County woman Alicia Watts is expected to make an appearance in court. James Dunmore is scheduled to be in Montgomery County Court this afternoon. He's accused of killing Watts last year. She was his girlfriend. A judge previously denied a motion from Dunmore's attorney asking for his release from jail while he awaits trial. He is being held on $1 million bond.
A heads up for drivers who commute through Wayne County. The US 70 bypass around Goldsboro is changing names. It will now be known as Interstate 42. Nearly 200 signs will need to be changed. The first ones will go up today. The move is part of a plan to convert US 70 into an interstate from I-40 in Wake County all the way down to the coast.
Your time is 4:38 this morning. Good morning. I'm Chris Lovinggood here in the WRAL Live Center. Overnight, we've learned that Tito Jackson, one of the founding members of the Jackson 5, reportedly died here. This is being reported by Entertainment Tonight. A family friend of the Jacksons saying that the official cause of death has not been named just yet, but it's believed that Tito may have suffered a heart attack while he was on vacation. This again being reported overnight. And you may recall that he played the guitar, he sang and danced along with Michael Jackson, who was a part of the Jackson 5. But the official determination of how he died has not been released yet, but we expect we could be hearing that in the coming days.
The NFL's #1 draft pick struggled in his primetime debut on Sunday Night Football. Chicago Bears quarterback Caleb Williams threw 2 second-half interceptions as he tried to lead his team back against the Houston Texans. He was also sacked 7 times in the game. The Texans held on to get the win over the Bears 19-13.
And week 2 of the 2024 NFL season wraps up tonight with Monday Night Football, and the Atlanta Falcons are in Philadelphia to play the Eagles. You can watch that game at 8:15 tonight on ESPN.
TikTok's fate in the U.S. could be decided this week. The court hearing happening today that could ban the app used by millions of Americans.
Plus, the warning from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu after Houthi rebels launched airstrikes deep within Israel.
And we'll give you a live look at Apex. Today is a WRAL weather alert day. We'll show you why the evening commute will likely be worse weather-wise than the morning commute.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
4:43, this is a WRAL weather alert day. We already have some showers that have started to show up in our southern counties and a little bit here, even north of I-95, headed toward Wake County. So we're going to see some, at least light showers during the morning commute. You can see some of that starting to move into Angier and Fuquay Varina, Four Oaks, Smithfield, Wilson's Mills, all those areas beginning to see some light rain. We do have a flood watch that's in effect 2 to 4, maybe even some pockets of 5-inch rainfall totals in the next 24 hours. We have the potential for isolated tornadoes as this is potential tropical cyclone 8, so it will have some tropical characteristics, and the heaviest rain starts to move in by around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Flood watch, again, in effect anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of rain. And, of course, with landfalling tropical systems, we often have spin-up tornadoes. We could see some of those in our eastern counties.
Today, a key court hearing is happening about a law that would ban TikTok in the United States. Congress passed a bill last April to ban the app unless the Chinese owner ByteDance sells it. President Biden signed that into law. The ban would take effect in mid-January unless TikTok's ownership changes. ByteDance is challenging the law, saying it violates free speech rights in the U.S. The company says even if it divested in TikTok, it cannot happen by the deadline Congress has set.
The Venezuelan government says they arrested 6 people, including 3 American citizens, in a plot to kill their president, Nicolas Maduro. The arrests were originally announced on Venezuelan state television yesterday. Venezuelan's interior minister says the arrests were connected to a CIA-led plot to overthrow the Venezuelan government and kill its leadership. He identified one of the Americans as Navy SEAL Wilbert Joseph Castaneda Gomez. The U.S. State Department says they are unaware of unconfirmed reports of 2 more Americans detained in Venezuela. They also deny any U.S. involvement in a plot to overthrow Maduro.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is warning Yemen's Houthis they face a heavy price after the group fired a missile into Israel. The missile fell into an open area. No injuries were reported. It's rare for a missile to hit so far into Israeli territory, though. A spokesman for the Iran-backed Houthis military said that they confirmed the attack. They warned that Israel should expect more strikes as the first anniversary of the October 7th attack by Hamas approaches.
At least 8 people are dead after heavy rain hit Central and Eastern Europe. You can see flooding and rising water levels across Poland, Austria, Romania, and the Czech Republic. A slow-moving low-pressure system dumped a month's worth of rain over these countries in the past few days. This is the heaviest rain some areas have seen in over 100 years. Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate, Tim Walz, will be in North Carolina this week. He'll make a stop in Asheville tomorrow night. Former President Donald Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, is making a campaign stop in Raleigh on Wednesday. And that rally will be held at Union Hall downtown. Then Trump will hold a rally in Wilmington on Saturday. WRAL will cover all the candidates' visits now through Election Day.
Trump campaign announced former president will be visiting Springfield, Ohio in the near future. That is where the former president claimed Haitian immigrants are eating dogs and cats during his debate with Vice President Harris last week. Both the police chief of Springfield and Ohio's governor have claimed that these claims are baseless. Yesterday, Ohio residents and Haitian immigrants met in Dayton to voice concerns as uncertainty continues. Since the debate, municipal buildings in the city have been targets of bomb threats, and immigrants in Springfield have reported feeling unsafe.
A driver was killed in a crash in southeast Raleigh. Police say the 72-year-old Lovelace Burwell's car crossed the center line on Pool Road yesterday and hit another car before veering off the road and hitting several trees. Burwell died at the hospital. The driver and the passenger of the other car both had non-life-threatening injuries. Covering Johnston County, students may be going to different schools starting next year. These are new draft maps for elementary, middle, and high school designations within the school district. The new maps are designed to prevent crowding in schools. They account for 2 newly constructed schools and 3 schools with new additions that can house more students. You can share your thoughts on these new boundaries at the school board's meeting on September 30th and another on October 1st.
Today marks 25 years since Hurricane Floyd hit North Carolina. It was a Category 2 hurricane with 105-mile-per-hour winds. That storm killed 50 people across the state. Flooding destroyed about 8,000 homes and damaged nearly 70,000. It is one of North Carolina's most deadly and costliest hurricanes.
It is 4:48. We certainly have a history of F storms, but luckily this year that was not the case. But now we're keeping an eye on another tropical system that's hitting us. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with the rain that's pushing in.
Yes, if this gets a name, it will be Helene. That's the next on the list. We had Gordon out in the Atlantic last week as the storm mostly just fizzling out. But here's a look at what's happening, kind of the wide view to start with. You can see the heaviest rain right now happening right around Clinton. This is a system that's sitting offshore. It's going to be gradually pushing northward across our area. Some patchy light rain around Johnston County, parts of Harnett County and Wake County right now. We'll zoom in here at Wake County. We're seeing some light showers in Fuquay, Varina, and Holly Springs. That's likely to push all the way up toward Raleigh here in the next 30 minutes or so. Clayton, Wilson's Mill, Four Oaks, all this is light right now, but we're definitely going to see that rain picking up in intensity once we get closer to lunchtime. So we do have a flood watch. We have a level 1 risks for severe storms in our eastern counties for that tornado potential. And then a lot of this really starts to pick up later in the afternoon. Flood watch in effect for the entire viewing area of as much as 2 to 5 inches of rainfall. And then here's the outline for the tornado risk, mainly along and east of I-95, closer to the coast, but definitely including a lot of our counties there. So damaging winds, heavy rain, obviously, and that tornado potential. Here's a look at the big picture. Our low is sitting offshore here, almost off the coast of Myrtle Beach. Typically with tropical systems, we see most of the rain to the north or to the east of the low. And so as this moves northward, it will continue to spread rain across our area. It's raining pretty heavily in the Wilmington area right now. As we go through the morning here, 6 a.m., just some scattered light showers from Raleigh southward. And then once we get closer to lunchtime, some of that rain really starts to pick up in intensity from Southern Pines to Fayetteville to Clinton, and that continues to lift northward. And we're just going to continue to see rain. It may be a bit more scattered in our northern counties and a bit heavier in our southern counties, but it does continue for tonight and tomorrow. Here's a look at some of the estimated rainfall totals. Could be as much as 5 inches around Fayetteville and Clinton, but closer to 2 or 3 from Raleigh southward, and then maybe 1.5 inches to 2 up closer to the Virginia line. Here's a look at PTC, or potential tropical cyclone 8. This is the new 5 o'clock advisory. It has winds at 50 miles per hour. So this is going to be a wind event for us as well. Right now it's 95 miles east of Charleston, moving very slowly northwest at 3 miles per hour. And you can see the path of the system moving inland there in South Carolina, becoming a tropical depression and moving up toward the mountains. But that, of course, is going to continue to bring us some rain since we see most of it on the north side. This is a look at our winds as we get through the day today. Some gusty winds, 20 to 25, but there may be some 40-mile-per-hour gusts as well with some local power outages. So here's what we're looking at. Heavy rain. We have the potential for some flooding. That flood watch, winds 20 to 40, and then tornadoes possibly, especially east of the Triangle area. And then some ongoing rain potentially for much of the week. This is a look at Clinton, where we're seeing the heaviest rain right now. Temperatures are in the upper 60s as you're heading out the door this morning, and we'll see low 70s across our area for highs. We do continue to have a chance of rain. Wednesday it's 40, Thursday it's 40, 60 on Friday, and then 20 into the weekend. And the first day of fall is Sunday.
Thanks, Elizabeth. We can break up some of these clouds and get our eyes to the sky. Tomorrow night, we'll tell you the best time to view a partial lunar eclipse.
And starting today, more people in Wake County will have access to Go Raleigh bus routes. We'll tell you about the new route added.